lot in the news lately, and what's going on in respect to defense spending in this country, and how our politicians and others may describe or view defense spending as a necessity or a requirement, or just how they do view it. At any point, we're going to hear a lot about it in the next 6 months during leading to the election and after the election with our lame duck Congress. And we hope to educate everybody a little bit more on what that's all about tonight. With us first this morning is Mr. Paul Ronan, who's a retired strategic planner at Rockwell Collins here in Cedar Rapids. Retired Air Force bird colonel, is that correct?
Correct.
And how many years service?
30.
30, okay. And with us next this morning is Mr. Carl Knudsen, who is with the Workers for Peace with Iowa. He's a retired school teacher and a veteran of the Vietnam conflict. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning.
And last but not least is Dr. Steve Reagan. Dr. Steve Reagan is a retired collegiate professor and dean, and he's a military historian, having done a biographer of the Iowa-born Admiral Fletcher that many of us have heard about in World War II fame. So, Dr. Reagan, thank you for joining us this morning. Anyway, when I chose this topic and wanted to talk about it, it's a very large topic when we talk about defense spending. But one of the things I thought we would be talking would be about defense versus the overall impact. One of the things we're all hearing is what's happening to the budget of the United States, and we'll try and concentrate on that this morning. One of the things I did in my research is we're talking about what defense spending is, and in the research post-conflict, and we have all been through a few of these now, is there has been a rush of the government to take what was spent previously on wars to come back and spend on other areas of the economy. Steve, you were in during the Vietnam era along with others. Any thoughts on what this spending is all about?
Well, I think the George Washington quote, "In time of peace, plan for war. In time of war, plan for peace." And I think that you always need to be looking forward as to what your needs are. It seems that after many conflicts, the immediate rush to slash the defense spending and put it in other programs, you've come to regret it later on down the pike. This happened after World War I, after World War II, certainly after Vietnam, and may very well, once the Middle East is quieted, may also come to fruition. That, I think, is a major issue to take a serious look at.
I'd like to interject that I'm not sure if the American public is really aware of how much our defense spending is. It's upwards of $600 billion, and that is greater than the rest of the world combined. And if you compare that with the next largest spender, which is China, their amount spent is about $60 billion. So I think, bringing up some of our past leaders, like Steve brought up Washington, General Eisenhower, when he was president in 1960, in his farewell address, said the public should really be aware of the industrial complex, the military-industrial complex. And I'm afraid that his worst fears have come to fruition, because I think the way it looks to me is that the military-industrial tail is wagging the American economy's dog. And so we're talking about cuts here, since the super committee did not reach an agreement on 1.2 trillion cuts, then the sequestration had to take place, which is a mandated cuts in the Pentagon, and that really is only $55 billion, and that's just, about 10% of the whole budget.
guess I'm somewhere